Let's begin by taking a look at some of the stuff coming out for this week's new comic book day. If you guys aren't familiar with this app, it's called League of Comic Geeks. I get that question all the time. They have a cool feature where you can set up your pull list and then you can stay organized with everything coming out from the comic book shops, man. So this is what we got week of November 19th. First up, we got Absolute Flash. I'm sure that a lot of people have dropped off Absolute Flash. I don't blame you guys. I don't blame you guys one bit. But for me, I'm hanging on. I'm hanging on, all right? Because we got Nick Robles coming back on to do the art. Of course, we got Jeff Lemire writing it. The last couple issues I thought have dipped down just a little bit, you know what I mean? Where the issues previous, it was like a high point for the series. So this series has been really up and down, kind of a slow start. We're going to keep it going though, but I definitely don't blame anybody if you ended up dropping this. Absolute Flash number 9. We also got Captain America number 5. I'm hoping my shop has a copy for me. They didn't have a copy for me for issue number 4. There was some confusion. Should I, did I want it on my pull list or not? I definitely want it on my pull list. So issue number 4 I got in late, but hopefully they got issue number 5 for me tomorrow. This series is so good, man. Chip Zdarsky's just killing it. Valerio Schiti on the art and Frank Martin on the coloring. It's just a really great creative team. They're just doing great stuff with this Captain America. What the hell, a Toy Story cover? I'm not picking. That won't be the variant cover that I'm picking up, But yeah, Captain America number 5. It's been excellent so far. I don't know if anybody else has been reading it. We got Seth. What is it? Seth the Tech. Seth the Tech says, "Hey, what's up, dude? Thanks for joining, man. Appreciate you joining." Moving right along, we also have the second sort of crossover thing from DC and Marvel. I don't know if you guys caught it actually. Maybe it was last week. They did some digital only releases. I think it was like Shazam and Thor, and then it was like Fantastic Four and forgot. Oh, Flash, Fantastic Four and Flash, something like that. So if you guys haven't checked those out yet, I haven't checked them out myself, but I heard they're pretty good, pretty fun. Little short reads on the digital only side. But of course, this week we also have the return of Batman Deadpool. This is the DC side of the crossover. So we got, if I'm being honest with you guys, a lot more, stories that I'm looking forward to a lot more in this one versus the Marvel and DC one. Thought that one was all right. But in this one, dude, we get some. I'm trying to look here. Yeah, because I know that Grant Morrison and Dan Mora, I believe, are doing the main crossover story in this. So the Batman Deadpool. And then let's just take a look, guys. We got James Tynion IV, Scott Snyder, and Joshua Williamson are teaming up with Hayden Sherman for Constantine Doctor Strange. That sounds sick. I mean, that creative team right there, Scott Snyder, Tynion, Joshua Williamson, and Hayden Sherman, just 4 of the top, comic book creators in the game right now. So they're doing Constantine Doctor Strange. That's cool. Tom Taylor, Bruno Redondo are bringing us Nightwing and Laura Kinney Wolverine. That's really interesting, dude. So that should be pretty cool. The weirdest one out of the bunch is probably Mariko Tamaki and Amanda Connor. They're bringing us Harley Quinn and the Hulk. So Harley Quinn and the Hulk crossover. That's a weird one. I didn't expect them to cross over. So that might be like the weirdest story out of the bunch. And then we have G. Willow Wilson, Dennis Cohen. We have a Static and Miss Marvel story. I'm loving that Static Shock is getting so much love. You got that crossover series with Batman Beyond as well. So Static Shock's getting a lot of love. But yeah, that's what we got with the DC Marvel Batman Deadpool number 1, the second crossover. This is DC side of it. And let's flip through some of the variant covers, dude. So that's pretty cool. Lee Bermejo got Doctor Doom choking out the Joker. Okay, we got some Zatanna Scarlet Witch. Okay, some Captain America. These are cool, man. Okay, nice. We got the Absolute Batman with the Punisher from Nick Dragotta. That's interesting. Storm Wonder Woman. That's super cool. Yeah, man, a lot of cool covers from this. I'm not like a variant cover kind of guy, but some of these are like this one, dude. The Hayden Sherman. That's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's one of the releases for November 19th to Comic Book Day I'm looking forward to. Let's keep it moving though. Everything Dead and Dying. If you guys aren't reading this zombie story from Image Comics, you're really missing out. Tate Bromble is just a creator that's just killing it. Over on the DC side, he's really killing it. But then he's got this great zombie story coming out with artwork from Jacob Phillips. Loving the cover on that one. And then we got some variant cover here from Jacob Phillips. And if you're not reading it, man, it's just a really solid zombie story. I know zombie stories have been kind of overplayed sometimes, right? Chewy Queso coming in saying, the Avengers of writers in this hole. Yeah, true, actually. just going back really quick to the yeah, just look at this. Will Wilson, Grant Morrison, James Tynion the fourth, Joshua Williamson, Rico Tamaki, Scott Snyder, Tom Taylor. That's just a crazy lineup right there, man. But jumping back over to the Everything Dead and Dying, if you're waiting to trade weight this, I get it. But man, 3 issues in, this is like one of my favorite series of the year. That issue number 1 just hit me like a punch in the face, man. Excellent stuff there. And yeah, issue 2 was great. Looking forward to continuing it with issue number 3, Everything Dead and Dying. Exquisite Corpses number 7. This is the James Tynion the fourth. We just mentioned him. He's working with Michael Walsh and Claire Rowe on this one. It's a battle royale story that takes place around Halloween, and it's takes place in Maine as well. So hitting a lot of different a lot of points that I'm into, right? Michael Walsh on the art, yeah, battle royale story. It's about all these killers trying to kill each other, and the last one alive, they win sort of the competition. But we have all these innocent civilians that are just in the crossfire. So yeah, interesting story so far. Issue number 7. I feel like this series is really flying by. Definitely trade weight that one. It's pretty good. I think volume number 1's already out for that. G.I. Joe number 14, Dreadnought War Part 2. I thought the last issue 13, was great. I did a reread of everything previous to the Dreadnought War, so I'm all caught up on G.I. Joe. I think it's excellent stuff. Might be my favorite part of the Energon universe. Very well could be, man. So yeah, Joshua Williamson. We got Tom Riley, the main artist for the series, coming back. Jordi Bellaire on the colors. Excellent creative team. Yeah, G.I. Joe is just killing it, man. It's really ripping. If you see the cover here, possibly, we got Duke and Cobra Commander teaming up or something. Something weird's going on, man. So if you haven't been reading G.I. Joe, definitely think you should, man. It's pretty good stuff from Skybound Image. Moving right along. Ice Strangeness number 2. This is an anthology series. I'll be honest with you, I'm only picking it up because Zach Thompson's attached, man. So I liked issue number 1. I forgot who the creative team of issue number 1 was. Let's see. Chris Condon, there you go, and Dave Chisholm, right? So I liked issue number 1. Great creatives attached. And looking forward to issue number 2. Zach Thompson coming in with a it's like a anthology story, like alien encounters, sort of like the weirdness. So if you're into stuff like that, definitely check it out. This one, is this one focused on UFOs. Prison transfer bus crashes at an isolated forest road in Washington State. The lone survivor running into the woods, he fights off a mysterious creature, dude. A juvenile Sasquatch. So if you guys are into Bigfoot stories, this sounds pretty cool, man. Moving right along, we have the conclusion to the New Gods from DC Comics. We got a question coming in from Seth the Tech. He says, do you think DC or Marvel will make a Christmas themed comic or a story that takes place during Christmas? Funny you mentioned that. So next week, I think I'm going to go over the number 1s coming out in the month of December. And there are quite a few Christmas themed releases. I would say that maybe Marvel does 1, DC does 1. I don't think they do too many Christmas themed stuff. But yeah, so that should be pretty cool. I'll go over those next week. But yeah, I'm assuming they did last year. So I would assume that DC and Marvel have some Christmas plans. Rom V has been killing it with this series. We got Evan Cagle on the art. I think they work really well together. And yeah, this seems like it's going to be the conclusion to New Gods. If you guys have been waiting for this to come out in a trade, it's excellent stuff, man. And Rom V is like the perfect pick for New Gods. Having a partner like Evan Cagle brings like the sense of scale that's required by the New Gods, right? It's just really, really excellent stuff. Is the New Gods in trade? Yeah, let's check real quick. Nice question from Chewy Queso. Jumping over here. It looks like the New Gods trade number 1 is out. That came out in August. And it looks like volume number 2 comes out in March. So you're going to have to wait a little bit for that second trade. Or you can read it on DC Universe Infinite, of course. Also available to read on there, 1 month behind. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this conclusion to the New Gods. Hopefully Ron V and Evan Cagle will get a chance to continue their New Gods story. Because you can see like there's some disparate pieces that I'm interested in how they'll tie it all up. But hopefully they can continue it, man, because it's like the perfect creative team to bring the New Gods back, man. So New Gods number 12 coming out tomorrow. Looking forward to that. News from the Fallout number 6. The conclusion to this sort of zombie kind of story written from Chris Condon with artwork from Jeffrey Allen Love. The art looks like the cover here. So it's very like washed out, very monotone sort of look, very unique look from Jeffrey Allen Love. Not a lot of comic books looking like this. Chris Condon is just a writer that's killing it. So I've been loving this series. News from the Fallout. We've learned that it's like a zombie apocalypse sort of thing. It's like a sci-fi sort of slant to how the zombie apocalypse sort of started. And yeah, news from the Fallout. If you guys are waiting for the trade, let's see when the trade's coming out. Trade's coming out March as well. So March 17th, the trade for that. But as you guys can see, I've been rating each issue like four out of five, 4.5 out of five. So news from the Fallout, great stuff there. A couple more issues to talk about before we get into our weekly comic book reviews. Everything that came out last week. Nightwing number 132. Man, Dan Watters, Dexter Soy, they're just killing it on this Nightwing title. Killing it, dude. Okay, we got Chewy Queso coming in again. He says, I'm excited to finally get Absolute Martian Manhunter tomorrow. Now, is that because a single issue's coming out? Or is that because like the trade's coming out? If the trade's coming out for Martian Manhunter, yeah, you guys are in for a treat, man. If you've been trade waiting that, that's one of my favorites from DC. Out of all of DC's titles right now, Martian Manhunter, Absolute Martian Manhunter it's got to be top three. It's got to be top three. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's top three for sure, man. So, Absolute Martian Manhunter, that trade is going to be super sick. So we get the next kind of installment of this Nightwing series by Dan Watters, Dexter Soy. I've just been loving it. So, yeah, I definitely recommend it. I was saying that quite possibly I was liking it better than Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo's run. I know that's a hot take. I just like the darker kind of edge and the tone of this Nightwing series compared to the last one. A little light and hopeful, but I'm liking the kind of direction they're taking with this Nightwing series. Superman Unlimited number 7. So in theory, I've dropped this series, as we'll get into with my pull list. If you guys caught my New Comic Book Weekly a couple weeks ago, and I talked about the DC pulls, I was thinking about dropping Superman Unlimited, and I confirmed that with my shop. So I don't think they'll be getting me an issue of issue number 7 in my pull box, but we'll have to see. If this is the last one, that's fine. I think it's an alright series. It's not my favorite. I think that there are other Superman series that I'm liking a little bit more. I'm pulling a ton of stuff from DC, right? So something had to make, get the cut. And I think Superman Unlimited, unfortunately, it's getting the cut. All that being said, I think this will be my last one, or my shop that won't even have issue number 7 for me. And it's officially been a dropped series, man. Let me know what you guys think about Superman Unlimited, because I'm always curious what people think of that one. The Ultimates number 18. So we're coming to the end of this Ultimates title. What's the last issue coming out? Ultimates 21. Okay, so we still got a couple more. But yeah, number 18 coming out. Oh, great question from Seth the Tech. He says, what comic studio have I been liking more lately? It's always going to be DC and Image Comics. I mean, that's just what I pull. Like, when I get into my pull list, as you guys see here, the DC side, there's a ton of DC pulls. Image Comics is right next to them, dude. They almost have the same amount of pulls as DC does. Definitely not pulling a ton of Marvel nowadays. I'm pretty picky with my Marvel pulls, but yeah, when it comes to which comic studio, it's a great question. It's always been Image Comics for me, and then in DC, pretty heavy DC reader. I'm excited about this Ultimates title, man. I've said that this Ultimates title might be my favorite out of the Ultimates universe. I know that's like maybe kind of a hot take, because I know people really love Ultimate Spider-Man. For me, Ultimate Spider-Man, like issue to issue, it's like not a ton happens, every single issue. But I feel like with the Ultimates, they're always doing interesting stuff. Dennis Camp, those issues like where they tell 4 stories at once, and they're really focused on the Fantastic Four, right? Like stuff like that, or like that Luke Cage issue, right? Really cool stuff coming out of this Ultimate series, and for my money, they're doing more impressive stuff over there than the rest of the Ultimate universe. But Ultimates number 18, it seems like we're going to be getting is the Maker coming out? Is the Maker finally coming out? I know they've been teasing it, kind of building up to it for a while. We're excited about the Ultimates number 18, and then last but not least, haven't dropped it for my pull list yet, guys. We're picking up Wonder Woman number 27. It's like one of those weird things where I have not caught up with Wonder Woman. I'm probably like this entire Mouse Man arc. No idea what's going on with it. Have not been tuned in. I need to catch up. I've been meaning to on DC Universe Infinite, so that way I can decide once and for all if I'm cutting this series. But yeah, have not caught up. I'm sure my shop will have me a copy of Wonder Woman 27. Stuff dealing with the Rat Man, Mouse Man guy. I don't know, but yeah, that's it for my weekly pull list. That's how we're looking for November 19th. In theory, we've got 13 pulls, but it might be that Superman Unlimited, my shop has cut it for me, so it might be 12 pulls. They might not have a Batman Deadpool for me either. I have to check. But yeah, so that's the pull list for the week of November 19th. Always love going over the pull list with you guys. Let's get into some comic book reviews, man. So got a big stack here, as you guys can see, quick rundown of what we're going to be reviewing. We got End of an Era for Batman Dark Patterns. End of an Era for We're Taking Everyone Down With Us. Excellent stuff there. And then the Power Fantasy. Excellent stuff, dude. This was like one of my favorite issues of the series. Really crazy stuff there. Beneath the Trees Nobody Sees. Another excellent issue from Patrick Horvath. Transformers, they're just killing it. Robert Kirkman, Dan Moore, when they take over the title. Pretty action-packed there. Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum. I usually don't like fifth dimensional imp stuff, but we'll get into that. I thought that was a pretty good issue. Pretty good issue of Fantastic Four. Not like the craziest issue at all of all time. It's kind of just a nice quick sci-fi sort of read. And then I just read this Ultimate Wolverine issue number 11, man. So let's get into it, dude. Let's start off with what I think was the best read of the week. We're talking Batman Dark Patterns. Dude, listen, if you guys are waiting on Batman Dark Patterns to come out in a trade, I get it. But man, this has been excellent all the way throughout. You've been really missing out if you haven't been picking up at singles. Set the Tech with another good question. He says, which comic do I think should have had a shorter run? That's a good question. I'll have to think about that. I don't know. Because like usually, right, if you're a comic book creator and you've got a plan for a series, you plan it out for how many issues it's going to be. I feel like series don't tend to like drag on for too long. I feel like a creator kind of knows where to end it. Usually I'm wanting more from a creative team, more from a series, right? Like I wish a series was longer. Like this one is a great example. I wish Batman Dark Patterns was not just 12 issues. I wish it was hundreds of issues, man. This has been excellent stuff. As we see, this is the conclusion. So it's all been driving to this. If you guys see down here, this is case number, it doesn't say down there. This is case number 4, right? So the way that this series has been working, every 3 issue chunks is like a new case for Batman to, figure out. Something in Gotham's going on. Someone has got to stop. And this kind of shows that all those cases were kind of all connected. They're all driving to one point. And this is the conclusion, man. So Dan Watters killing it on a Batman title. Just a more down-to-earth sort of, detective, like straight detective Batman story. There's no Robin, right? It's just Batman doing his thing kind of earlier in his career. It's got some great artwork, though, from Hayden Sherman, an artist who's just killing it. You guys are probably well familiar with Hayden Sherman's work, killing it over on Absolute Wonder Woman. We got a great question coming in from Chewy Case. So he says, would it be 1 or 2 trades for Dark Patterns? I don't know how long it is, but I hear nothing but great things. I think, if I'm not mistaken, trade 1 is out for Batman Dark Patterns. I would think that includes the first 2 cases, so the first 6 issues. And then I think you just have to wait for that second trade to come out. But dude, when this comes out in a deluxe edition, because deluxe editions can be 13 issues, that's going to be like one of the best deluxe editions of all time, dude. Like an instant classic. So really looking forward to that. As I'm flipping through, though, you're seeing the excellent artwork from Hayden Sherman. It's this fire guy who's trying to create like this renewal in Gotham City by burning it down. And then hopefully from the ashes, a better city can emerge is kind of his thinking. And Batman's got to put a stop to it. So this kind of guy, kind of how he's different from Firefly and some of the other fire-based Batman villains. But yeah, man, just look at this excellent stuff from Hayden Sherman, the kind of swirly smoke fire effects. He's got a great look for Batman in the Batmobile and all the other important things in Batman's mythos. I just think that Batman Dark Patterns is like one of those series that most people need to read. If you're looking for just that down-to-earth Batman, dude, I know that a lot of people, they don't like how it's so mystical sometimes, deals with magic and everything. This is just straight detective Batman. So I think it's excellent. I thought it concluded really well, really satisfying conclusion. We're just hoping for more in, Dan Watters and Hayden Sherman. We need this duo to continue working because it's excellent stuff. So Batman Dark Patterns, first review that I want to talk about. Next up, we're taking everyone down with us. If you guys are like me and you're looking for like spy stories, right? Like there's not a ton of spy comic books. This one has definitely scratched that itch. The lighting's all messed up here. Hold on. But this is written by, This is written by Matthew Rosenberg, who I'm a big fan of. I've been a big fan of for a long time. I think Matthew Rosenberg is one of the most funny writers in the comic book game. There were literal laugh out loud moments in this read. And it's all focused on this girl named Annalise. Her dad, she had like a weird upbringing. Her dad was like this evil, mad scientist spy guy, kind of keeping her in hiding. And her dad was going to war with this guy's organization, like the opposite spy organization, them going back and forth, right? And Annalise, one day, like the island that they're hiding on, they get attacked by this dude's organization, and her and her dad, kind of get into a scuffle or whatever, and they're trying to break out of the island. The dad like turns into a robot. He like swaps his consciousness in the robot's mind. So it's got like this robot here. So it's got like a sci-fi slant to it. It's like a sci-fi sort of spy story, and it's been excellent, action packed all the way throughout. I think this Annalise character is such a badass, like one of the coolest comic book characters that I've seen in a while. And yeah, it's just a funny, funny story from Matthew Rosenberg with that writing. As we see here, Annalise bites this dude's finger off, right? So this dude, like this Rook guy, the spy character, he is hilarious, dude. So hopefully we see more of him. And in fact, I think there's going to be a sequel series to this. Matthew Rosenberg has announced, so I'm looking forward to that. Rosenberg Landini, excellent spy story. That's really funny. And yeah, it concludes with issue number 6. So if you guys are waiting for this one, definitely check it out when it comes out in trade. I think that one's excellent. The Power Fantasy number 13. Wow, crazy revelations in the last couple issues. In this one, it's kind of the fallout from the Etienne character. He killed someone's kid, and kind of the ramifications of that. So we get another meeting with all the powerful people, kind of go over the lay of the land, the kind of situation that they all find themselves in. Because we know that this story is like a Cold War. It keeps escalating. If you, super powerful person, if you try to come after me, I will come after you and kill 1,000,000 people, right? And so it's kind of like this escalating tension that's sort of been going for the last couple of issues. And yeah, it's really, really tense when we see all these main characters from the story. They're kind of dealing with the fallout of the last issue. The moral question of this Etienne character, turns out he's a villain, guys. He's kind of villainous. Kind of his idea and where he thinks that the U.S. should be, and I don't know, just he wants to control everything, but he thinks it's for a moral reason and all that stuff. But yeah, crazy stuff in the Power Fantasy. Just another crazy thing that happens in this one. Every single issue, something crazy happens, and yeah, Power Fantasy, excellent stuff from Kieran Gillen and Casper Wingard. You guys gotta be reading it. Casper Wingard's got like the best art in the game, and then Kieran Gillen, it's a page-turning story, man. Every single issue is like something that I gotta read as soon as it comes out, and the revelations are just crazy. You don't want to get that one spoiled for you. One of my favorite, probably my favorite Image comic series, like full stop. It's got to be my favorite. Excellent stuff there. Hopefully it goes on for like 40 plus issues. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Patrick Horvath bringing us a great issue, just continuing it, man. So for those that don't know, this one is all about, she's not on the cover. There's this bear character named Samantha. She's a serial killer who lives in a small town. That was the first volume of the story. The second volume is all about this duck character who comes into the town. She's looking for evidence of like her brother, because the Samantha Bear character killed the brother in the first volume. So it's kind of like, this girl is trying to hunt down and find any information she can about her brother, but she's working with the Samantha Bear to find the brother. And it's kind of tricky because Samantha the Bear knows what happened to her brother. She killed him, right? So it's like this very sort of interesting situation they all find themselves in. Seth the Deck says, how James Gunn built the world of Guardians of the Galaxy. Would you like to see something like that in Superman Woman of Tomorrow, like we see in the comic? That's an interesting question. I think that, yeah, I'd like to see something like that in Woman. I don't know how they're going to take Woman of Tomorrow. They're going to go super like by the comic book. Then maybe it's just straightforward adaptation and there's not need to kind of do interesting things like that. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. But yeah, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, it's just an excellent series, man. So something happens in this that's insane. And yeah, we'll have to see what happens in the next one. But yeah, just really curious how this series is going to wrap up. Is Samantha the Bear, is she going to get away with it? All those murders she's been doing over the last couple of decades, right? Transformers 26. I don't know if you guys dropped the series when the last creative team left, obviously. We had Jorge Corona doing the art. We had Daniel Warren Johnson, the absolute legend, on the writing. I know a lot of people might have dropped the series then. I was thinking about it, honestly, but I'm pretty invested in the Energon universe. I wanted to keep it going. Look at this excellent artwork from Dan Mora. There was a point in time where I was like, hey, I don't know Dan Mora. Is he the right pick for Transformers? Because in my mind, he's got such a clean look, right? Like straight edges. I just couldn't see Dan Mora's artwork in, like, I couldn't see the Transformers in Dan Mora's artwork. But I think he's been nailing it. So definitely kind of alleviated some of my worries there. I wish I had the light. wish that the light was brighter, dude, so you guys could see the comic. That's probably the best it's gonna go. But yeah, I think this has been excellent so far. It's not as action packed as Daniel Warren Johnson's run, and we'll have to see what happens with all of the Decepticons. They're kind of hanging out in their own little base under the ocean, right? And the Autobots are working with the U.S. government, possibly. It's kind of interesting to see with there's this U.S. government like general dude. I think his name is literally like General Flag. They're always named General Flag, dude. But this sort of general dude, what's his sort of ulterior motives? Why is he helping the Autobots so much? Besides, like, he knows that the Autobots are the good guys out of the two, Decepticons and the Autobots. But why is he helping them so much? And what is he getting out of this, right? So we'll have to see what happens. Obviously, Optimus, he doesn't think that this guy could be bad, right? But I have a feeling something's gonna turn, and we'll see what this guy's ulterior motives are. But yeah, man, I thought that one thing I will mention, the look for Carly and Spike. I was like, yeah, I guess that's Carly and Spike. It's just interesting to see Daniel Warren Johnson doing his character designs and Jorge Corona continuing them. But then you get Dan Mora coming in and kind of doing his interpretation of those designs, and they look a little different, you know? But anyways, kind of like an anime sort of style. But that's what we got. Transformers 26. I'm continuing it, man. They got me intrigued where the story's going. Couple more issues to talk about. I think there's 4 more. There's 3 more. Let's talk about Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum. I don't like fifth dimensional imp stories typically, man. But something about the team behind Ice Cream Man doing it, it really worked for me. It was kind of like the exact right amount of zaniness that I was sort of expecting. Superman is trapped in the fifth dimension. He is trapped in this world of imagination, right? And the rest of the heroes, namely Lois Lane and Batman, they're working with Dr. Fate to try to get Superman out of this sort of dream state that he finds himself in. And this issue got wacky, dude. So if you're into wacky fifth dimensional stories, as you're seeing here, the art style changes. At one point, it changes to like a spreadsheet. Like if you were to do a comic book in a spreadsheet format, just really insane stuff, man. Ross Wilson with the hot take. He says James Gunn is a one-trick pony. I'm not even gonna step in that one, dude. I'll just let that one simmer for the chat to get involved in, dude. But yeah, I thought Kryptonite Spectrum was a great read. This series overall, I think has been really good. I think it was that last issue where he's hanging out with Shazam that I wasn't the biggest fan of. But yeah, dude, we got this new Kal-Elf coming in. We'll have to see if he makes an appearance ever again in DC continuity. Lex Luthor has created a clone called like Kryptonite Man. So Kryptonite Man and Superman are probably going to duke it out next issue. Now that Superman has sort of fixed the fifth dimension. So yeah, I don't know, dude. It's as we see here, great comment here. We got Tomb16. He says that he sadly dropped the Kryptonite Spectrum. I enjoyed it. I just wanted to read it on DC Universe Infinite. I get that. It's not a must read, like must pick up series. Mainly I got it because I'm a huge fan of DC Black Label. I've been collecting DC Black Label for a long time. It's just like some of the more interesting, kind of like off the wall sort of stories from DC. I tend to like DC Black Label a lot. And this is the same creative team as Ice Cream Man. So them doing a DC story, I was really curious how that would work. I'm with you though. I don't blame anybody for dropping it. Definitely check it out if you get a chance on DC Universe Infinite. Might make for a good trade if you're into wacky sort of stories. Very Silver Age sort of inspired. Like it gives me, as I was flipping through, you guys saw the artwork. Very similar to like a Frank Quietly kind of style. And the writing from W. Maxwell Prince, kind of like a Grant Morrison sort of inspired. You can tell that, you know, this creative team really loves Superman and Superman continuity. So yeah, man, I'd recommend Kryptonite Spectrum, maybe only for the diehard, gotta read everything kind of Superman fan. And then we got the arguments in the chat going, what do you mean by one trick pony? Hopefully you guys figure that out in the chat. I'm a bigger fan of James Gunn than maybe it sounds like Ross Wilson is, but yeah. Brings us to Fantastic Four issue number 5. In this issue, all the boys were on a little boys trip. They're doing a little fishing in the negative zone. That leaves Sue Storm and Ben Grimm's wife, Alicia. They're stuck at home when they get a knock at the door. Black Cat needs some help. She needs someone to bail her out and to prove that she didn't like murder a dude and rob a bank. So Sue Storm and Alicia have to sort of figure out a creative way to get the Black Cat out of prison and kind of clear her name, because she turns out she didn't kill the dude. even though it seems like something Black Cat might do. She didn't this time, all right? So just like a fun sort of, you know, I don't even know how to describe it. Like just a fun side issue, like a one issue type of story. It's interesting because this Fantastic Four series, right? Like when I was reading it with the previous volume of Ryan North stuff, it's not that like every single issue was like its own story. Like maybe it's like a 2 issue, 3 issue sort of thing. It seems like now they're kind of just going for like you can just pick up any issue of Fantastic Four and start reading it. So far, none of the issues have kind of like tied together besides the first two. So yeah, we'll have to see if that's the direction that Ryan North's taking it. Is just like, hey, anybody could pick up Fantastic Four and start reading it. You don't need to necessarily worry about, oh, I missed last issue. What happened last issue, right? You can just start reading it. So Fantastic Four, continuing to be really fun. I think that the artwork from Humberto Ramos, it's a great look for Fantastic Four. Yeah, just like an interesting little side story. So we'll have to see if that sort of continues. Last but not least, let's talk about Ultimate Wolverine, issue number 11. Man, what a heartbreaking issue, dude. Not to like spoil it for anybody if you haven't read it yet, but we see the opposition, which is the kind of group that Wolverine is hanging out with. They're kind of like the Rebel Alliance or whatever, going up against. We got Magic and Colossus. Those are the bad guys. They work for the Makers Council, and the Makers Council, they're trying to get rid of the opposition, right? It makes sort of sense. So they're going to try to kill Wolverine and the gang by dropping a bomb on them. And I won't show you what happens, dude. It's pretty sad stuff. So another excellent issue of Ultimate Wolverine from Chris Connon. I think he's just killing it in the comic book game just in general. But this is a really fun corner of the Ultimate Universe. And then Cappuccio in the art, dude, killing it. I love Cappuccio's style. You got to see Cappuccio on more interior stuff, man. He's excellent. I'm interested to see what Cappuccio's doing next. He was doing such great work on that Moon Knight run from a couple years ago. So I'm a real big fan of Cappuccio's stuff. And that's it, dude. That's what we got for weekly comic book reviews. Everything that I read last week for New Comic Book Day. Did I miss anything, guys? Did I miss anything important? Let me know down in the comments. Let's see. Tommy B, he says he enjoyed the first 4 issues of Fantastic Four a lot. It makes you want to go back and read Ryan North's previous trades. That's how I was collecting the series in a long time. I was collecting it in trades. I think I have like trade 3, something like that. I'm up to trade 3. And then I eventually just stopped, collecting it in trades, and I'm like reading it on Marvel Unlimited. But yeah, I've been loving Ryan North's run. I wish I had collected it in singles all the way throughout because I think that would have been pretty cool. But yeah, I got the new volume and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So that's what we got, guys, for weekly comic book reviews.